Alright guys, welcome back to another video with Chris, and today we have another deck building video. I was thinking about it at work today. I was like, what do I want to build today? Like, what is probably, like, you know, something that I feel like is we haven't really something that just needs to be, I think, explored again, right? There's so many decks on here that you know, I think we can kind of toy around with a little bit here. But I'm gonna pick something a little more meta today, and just kind of go through, I guess it could be considered meta, but it's going to be the Super Saiyan 4 Guardian of History leader. Honestly, this is probably my favorite black Saiyan leader, no cap. I think this is, I enjoy this leader a little bit more than Super Saiyan God Trunks. I guess the main reason is because this is considered, I guess, a black aggro deck. It's very, very good. You can kill people on turn 2, depending on how the you know, your hand goes and stuff. But generally, you're probably gonna kill on turn 3. And I've built this deck of various of ways, but it definitely feels more, you know, more prominent as a aggro deck. So we're gonna go into this build. We're gonna mess around with a little bit, find out what, you know, what kind of what build we want to focus on, at least for the current format. And yeah, so make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. You guys seem to really like this series, and I'm glad you guys do. It's fun making these videos here. So I will leave a poll once this video comes out. There will be a poll on the channel going over. It'll be in the community page, but it's going to go over what you guys want to see as a video. And what I'll probably do is I'll take some of the collectively what you guys say in the comments. I'll make a poll of maybe like 4 or 5 decks, and then you guys let me know what you guys think of those leaders. You guys pick one from that, and then we'll kind of do that as we go through all the videos, right? So, big Super Saiyan 4 here, and so Goku is a burst 3 leader, essentially what Vegek should have been when, you know, on release, right? So burst 3 when this card attacks, add 1 card from your life to your hand, then draw 1. So you can choose to add a life first, but you have to choose a life first if you're going to choose a life and then draw afterwards. Waking up 4, where you are resetting 1, draw 1, and on this side, the leader becomes a 15k and double strike permanently, which is fantastic, right? This allows you to, you don't need Champa, essentially. Like, you can go in on your leader and you're going to, you know, be swinging for game when they're at 2 life, regardless of if you have Champa in your hand or not. Permanent, during your turn, this card gets 5k for every 8 black battle cards in your warp. So essentially, you're running mainly battle cards. You're gonna try to run, you know, the least amount of extra cards and stuff as possible. You know, least amount of unisons as possible. But then he also has secondary effect where you can choose up to 4 black battle cards from your warp, send them to your drop, and draw 1. This is to kind of help, sequence your overwhelming. Things like that. You also do have cards you can run, Koitsukai, things like that you can put into the drop area. So, so we will start as always with the secret rare. So, definitely gonna be Pan. Right? You would think Pan, right? But we don't actually run a lot of battle cards, and a lot of our battle cards are gonna be Overwhelm. So, they're not gonna stick. So we're gonna do Brainwash Kai, mainly because she's a 50k double strike, and you can play her on turn 3. So if you go first, you play her on turn 3. She also has the second effect, with your opponent has to warp. They have to warp a life. I'm sorry. They have to crit a life every time they swing at the battle card or a unison. So after you play her and you swing with her, you can then pop her if you would like to for an extra energy, and then just kind of sit back and, you know, just wait with your cards in hand, because they're probably not going to be able to attack with any battle cards, and the next turn you can kind of, you know, rebalance everything and then go for game. So we're going to run that one. Since we're here, we're going to run the Supreme Kai, Guardian of Space-Time. So if you mill her, you play her out. Less than 5 cards in your hand. She gains 5k, making her a pseudo super combo. We're just going to throw a 4 in there. Just kind of how it is. Supreme Kai negate. We'll tuck it in there for now. Card may get taken out later, so we'll check on that. Now we're gonna go for our actually we'll go through the unisons first. I think we should add some unisons to the deck. So the two that I think make the most sense for the deck. One is going to be Demigra. This is because your leader is a Saiyan only whenever you play a card using Overrealm. This card gains Wormhole. If you guys don't know what Wormhole is, you get to play out a second Overrealm or Dark Overrealm. Now the first one has to be an Overrealm. So the first Overrealm has to be an Overrealm. Second one could be Overrealm or Dark Overrealm. +1 puts 2 black battle cards back into the drop. And also those burst ones too, so you're going to be able to basically cycle out those 3 cost Overrealms. Basically 2 of those in a turn, essentially. On your Awakened side, you can do whatever, a 3 or a 6, it doesn't matter. But then you can actually do another 6, again, because your leader is going to put back 4. This card is going to put 3 up the 3 in the drop area. So you can do, essentially you can burst 7. So you can do 2 7 costs or lower. Also, the -3 does come up. You can add 2 battle cards with the energy cost of 7 or less and the Overrealm skill. So black battle cards with Overrealm 7 or less, you can add them back to your hand. So we're going to do 3 of those. And we're going to do 2 of this guy. I actually love this card. I think this card has been super undervalued for black decks just because black hasn't really had a Overrealm focused deck in a really long time. And Gogeta doesn't count because Gogeta was just spamming, you know, Thortings, right? When you activate Overrealm, this card gains a marker. +1, you put 2 black battle cards back into the drop. And then -3, you add 2 battle cards, black battle cards between 20 and 30 from your warp to your hand. This card gains 15k in dual attack for the turn, essentially making this a 20k dual attack. Why this is good? There's going to be games where you go first. You play this, right? Uptick it. Goes to 2. They swing at it, right? They're probably not going to swing at it. They're probably going to swing at leader. Next turn, you uptick this, or you burst, you do your leader effect, right? You Overrealm, this card goes up to 2. You then +1 go up to 3, right? Next turn, now you're at 3. They have to swing at this, so more than likely swing at this or swing at your leader, right? By turn 2, depending on where you go, or turn 3, this is going to represent a 20k dual attacker that you can Champa, but also the fact that it grabs you 2 cards back, so you can grab back your Thorting or grab back anything else, and it just becomes a dual attacker that adds 2 cards back to your hand, combo power wise, right? Very, very powerful. So we're actually going to tech in 2 of those. That way we have 5. We are going to run 60 cards probably, so running 5 unisons isn't the worst thing. We could probably end up bumping this up to the 3 and 3. That's probably it, right? Like Bardock is cool for matchups where you're gonna go later on in the game. You can probably side Bardock and take out Demigra, because Demigra is mainly your offensive, like you know, all gas no break sort of unison. Like you're playing this so you can cycle out 2 Overrealms per turn and just go crazy, right? So you could probably, you know, put this in the side, which is what we're gonna end up doing. I'm actually just going to throw Bardock now in the side, just to put him in there. We'll do 3 because that's how many we have of Demigra, so we'll just side those out for Demigra. Makes sense, right? Not showing him. There we go. There we go. You guys don't know what Bardock does. +1, draw 1. Really good. Spirit Boost, you can warp a battle card from your opponent's drop area, then -2 acts as a floodgate. Your opponent can't attack a battle card unless they warp 1 from their hand. But in later games, control matchups where you feel like you don't have the advantage, or just matchups where it's kind of like that mid-range sort of tempo matchups, you can put this in and slide this in instead of Demigra. It just gives you a pressure piece that's also 15k, that's also drawing you a card every turn, so it's pretty good. Alright, so we got through the unisons, now we're going to go into the battle cards. So we're going to do, obviously, True Fighting Spirit. Probably do 3 and 2. So we have them in the deck. Also, Thorting. Alright, we're gonna run our 1 of Thorting here. And that will kind of round out that little package there. We'll do Son Goku Beyond All Limits. Obviously we're gonna do the cooler art here. We'll just tech in 4 for now. It may end up getting changed. This guy here is definitely going to get put into the deck. Tag Team Gohan. One of your black battle cards leaves by a skill. You can play it out for free as long as you don't have one in play. Essentially has unique. This just represents another attacker or defensive purposes. Overrealm is a skill, so when a card leaves by Overrealm, you can play this guy out for free. That's pretty good. That's probably going to be it for that small little Goku and Vegeta package. Obviously, the super combo of choice is going to be the Vegeta. Just kind of makes the most sense, right? So this card, we're gonna talk about it real quick. Fan Greeting. This card actually is not very good. However, being a free overwhelm is the only reason why this card should be played. Yes, it warps a card from your opponent's hand. It doesn't really matter because you're gonna end up swinging with it anyways, and it's gonna, you know, just give them a card back. But it's free, so you know, having a free overwhelm is good, especially since they got rid of Fighting Against Fate. So we're gonna tech 2 of those in. I do hate this card. I don't think this card's good at all, but until they make a better overwhelm, it's what we gotta play. So, that's probably it for the Vegetas and stuff. Actually, you know what? Forgot about a little tech card here. Where are we at? This guy. Demonstration of Might. This card's actually really cool. So, it's probably I don't think it's seen any play. But choose this card and one of your black battle cards, an energy cost of 3 or less. Send them to the owner's warp and then draw one. So this is a weird extension card, right? And this will make sense here when we get to other parts of the deck. But this allows us to double Overwhelm and then put this card and the other Overwhelm card in the warp. Allows us to draw another card, which then allows us to go into a chain that we're going to use to actually kill people on turn 3. And that chain also involves Trunks here. So we're going to do 4 time regulators. Time regulator is by far the best one. Draws us 2, warps 1 from hand. It's very, very powerful. Solitary Guardian is another good option, but we already have enough Trunks there. We could probably do 1 Power Awakened, maybe 2, just to have it in there, because we're going to get more than 8 cards in our warp. And since we play a lot of stuff for free using Overwhelm, this just gives us a 2 energy cost. I can actually just swing twice and, you know, do a lot of stuff there. For the Vegeta as well, actually, we need, where's the other guy at? Yeah. Revive Ravager. So this guy is a Overwhelm 3. Then you can burst 3 afterwards, and it is a 15k crit. So we're going to do 3 of those. Alright, so now we have the actual big part of the engine, which is going to be the Vegex engine. I think this engine is very underutilized. It is 3 energy, so it is kind of expensive, but when you're going for game on turn 3, you could, in testing, this has worked very, very well. So this is a Union Batora, which means you can you have to put the 2 cards underneath. They don't have to be the same power, the same energy cost, whatever. They just have to match the actual name, so Trunks and Vegeta Xeno. Permit, you can choose battle cards in your warp when choosing cards with this card's Union choosing skill from your hand. And Batora actually is on field as well. So, do 3 of these real quick. Now, when we go back to this guy, so we actually can Vegeta and Trunks in the same turn with our Demigra up. You can, you're probably going to, it doesn't really matter, you'll do either one of these first, right? Actually, we'll cut this guy down to 2 real quick, and this guy up to 3. So the idea is that you can play this guy out. They both go to the warp, and then you can tap 3 and play out the Vegex, right? This essentially allows you to not have to worry about focusing on cards in your hand, because you can just overwhelm this out, and then as long as you can get the activate main off, which is essentially the problem, right, is having to activate main on this card. That's probably the biggest downfall of this card, right? So that's why, like, it's kind of stuck between running 3 or 2 or not even any of it at all. But it does allow you to go into your turn with into your turn 3, not having to worry about making sure you have a Vegeta or a Trunks in the warp beforehand, right? So it just kind of allows you to not have to worry about sequencing as much, because you can play this. You don't have to swing at it, honestly. You can just play it and then just activate main, warp both of these, draw a card, and then tap 3 for your Vegex. So Vegex is a 25k double strike that you add 1 card from your warp with a battle card that costs 4 or less. Obviously, we're just gonna add Vegeta. If not, the second best option is gonna be adding a Supreme Kai, which is nuts, right? Like you can swing at leader super combo, and then do your overwhelm stuff, and then play this guy out, and then add that same super combo back to your hand. That's just incredible value, right? And then of course we're gonna run Burning Impact Unleashed. So I don't know why I didn't think of this card being that good when it first came out, but Xeno Evolve is actually a cracked keyword skill. So Xeno Evolve, for anyone who doesn't know, Xeno Evolve comes in active mode, and the card that's underneath this card goes to the warp. Okay. The battle cards underneath the Vegex will go to underneath Space-Time Synthesis. So the cards underneath this will go to the drop area. But then this card will come in active mode. So you can swing 25 double strike with this, and then pop this on top of it for a 30k double strike that also warps a battle card during the auto step. Essentially kind of making this like a thwarting as well, right? So just a little more of an expensive thwarting. But since we only have one thwarting now, you can only play one thwarting on the field anyways. But imagine having a thwarting on turn 2 and then playing a second thwarting on turn 3, right? Not to mention having a 25 double strike beforehand, tacked on then with a free play 30k double strike version of thwarting, right? Very, very powerful. So we're gonna run 2 of this guy. 2 is fine because we have Beyond All Limits, so we can end up getting it back. We also have our Vegeta here, our Gohan, so we can grab back the Vegex here because he is a 30k battle card. So we actually can grab that back. We also can grab back Vegex here, or this. We also can grab back this Trunks here, thwarting, Beyond All Limits, this Vegeta. You know, so you have a decent amount of targets that you can grab back. All right. We're at 46. Haven't added any extra cards yet, so we're gonna still look through the battle cards here, see if there's anything else that I think would be relevant in the deck. We do want to try to keep as many battle cards as possible for our leader effect and all that other fun stuff. I have the thwarting in there already. Let's see. I don't really know what else would be a good target for this in the main deck. I think that's probably the most, right? Like we're gonna just be overwhelming very early. Actually, we'll do another Son Goku. This is the Threat of the Demon God, or whatever I think this card's called. This guy, Challenging a Demon God. Yeah, so we'll do 2 of this. It's a 1-drop. Just gives us an extra Goku. Make sure we have it. That's right, 48. So, for other Overwhelm cards, what are some other Overwhelm cards we can add into the deck? Let's search by type. And we will do Overwhelm. I know the Bardock isn't bad. There's a Bardock that, there's the one that, it's a 20k that draws you 2 cards. That card's not bad. This card's pretty cool. But, probably isn't needed. This card's pretty cool too, being a 20k double strike that your opponent can't. Where's it at? This guy. Yeah, this is a 20k crit that your opponent can't block, or can't combo battle cards from the battle area whenever it attacks. So that could be kind of cool. Let's do one of those in the main. That puts us at 59. And actually, we'll do 1 Trunks Power Overseeing Time. This way, if we mill our secret rare, we can grab our secret rare back, and our secret rare only costs us 1. So you're paying 1 for a 50k double strike. It's pretty powerful. So now we will do Support of the Dark Empire, because obviously you gotta run this card. I'll run 3 of it. We'll do and probably the best card for this deck realistically. It's gonna be the Super Kamehameha here. We need Super Kamehameha. Let's do the other artwork here. Yeah, so Super Kamehameha is incredibly important for this deck, just to help us stop those floodgates. And then Koitsukai, you can probably just add 2 Koitsukai in there. Puts us at 59. So what else can we add in here? Probably just do a third Vegex, right? Just for consistency purposes. That's pretty good. Do another Vegeta. Well, that way we make sure we hit the Vegeta. So that's pretty good. Now for side deck options, we have Petrification, as always. We have Kai, Supreme Kai of Time Negates, just to have it on the side. Probably 2 more Koitsukais, just in case. It's pretty good. Crimson Strike. Crimson Strike actually probably will come up a little bit. We can do Mechikabura, Broken Seal. Don't mind that either. We'll probably just do. Honestly, probably just. Ooh, those. We'll do just 1 Kai. Yeah, we'll do 2. We'll do 2 Kais. Why not? Don't know what else. With side more Thordings, obviously, right? That's probably what you want. We could do another Vegeta, True Fighting Spirit. Actually, you know what the last card will be? We'll do the Promo Vegex. So this card actually is pretty cool. You do the same thing when you play this as you do the other Vegex. However, this has barrier, it's 24k, and when this card is in rest mode, your opponent cards with 15k power or more can only attack copies of this card. Essentially meaning that your opponent can only attack this guy, and they can't attack anything else. And it says your opponent's cards, which means unisons, things like that, right? So actually, we're gonna take out the Bardock. We're gonna put one of those Vegex in the main deck here. Do one in the main deck. Yep. Do one in the main deck, and we're gonna put one on the side. And that kind of wraps up, I think, our main deck here. It looks pretty good. We'll make this private here. That's pretty cool. So this is the final list here. I've run similar lists to this at my locals. I think this deck has obviously a little dependent on RNG, right? Which is why we're trying to run, more copies of some of these cards we probably wouldn't run as many of. Like, I probably would only run 2 of these technically if I was playing like the Trunks, like the Super Saiyan God Trunks deck. 2 of each of these, but since we do mill, we want to be able to just hit kind of hit our stuff. Running 60 cards, honestly, in a deck like this is not that bad. We do burst, a decent amount. You could easily cut out, like, if you don't end up liking this Vegeta, you can cut this guy completely, as well as cutting like something like this, and that takes out 5 cards out of your deck. I've tested it at 60 and it feels fine. Having the ability to just grab stuff back from the drop with this or this Gohan, you're never really, like, unless you like mill like your extra cards, you're not really losing too much value. You're able to kind of hit everything. And then we have Bardock, Petrification, Koitsukai, Crimson Strike, Mechikabura, Supreme Kai, Vegeta, and another Vegex here to round it out. So let me know what you guys think. Try this deck out. I would love to see some people try this out. I think this is a very underutilized Saiyan leader, which he hasn't really taken any hits. Like, he is probably the best Saiyan only leader left in the game. Dark Broly's there too a little bit. Dark Broly doesn't really, like, Dark Broly's whole idea is kind of like hand destruction, right? This deck is just trying to kill you as quick as possible, and Gogeta can still do that as well. Gogeta kind of plays probably around the 1-drops a little bit more in Pikkon now, but this deck is just an overwhelm heavy deck. I guess the problem would be blue. Running in the blue decks with this does definitely hurt, but that's the idea, is because you're going so fast, you want to be able to, stop them from, establishing a unison. Getting them to that position where they can actually defend and stabilize. Your whole goal is to just aggro them down as quick as possible, which I've done before. I've been able to kill some blue decks on turn 2, turn 3, and they just don't have enough resources to stabilize. They have a bunch of unisons in their hand or whatever. They're just not really, ready to deal with this stuff here. Champa obviously is something that you can also add in here as well. I'd say if you're gonna run Champa, we would probably take out one of these and then just throw in a Champa here. That way we have it. You also can bump this up more. The problem is you don't want to run too many of these extra cards that are not red. I mean, that are not black, because this messes up your you know, your ratios here, right? Also, you can't put this card back with either one of these or this. So that kind of sucks a little bit here. So this is the deck list. You know, hopefully you guys enjoy it. You know, like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. If you guys like the leader, if you guys have played it. If you guys have a different strategy, let me know down in the comments. I would love to see what you guys come up with. And that will do it for me in the video today. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.